So, I want you to look at something for me. Imagine the person sitting across from you in a cafe, or in a meeting, or on a first date. They're wearing glasses maybe.
AI around your neck. A Bay Area company has a pendant that you wear on your neck that offers you encouragement throughout your day. The pendant is called Friend.
We face a number of important issues around privacy, safety, and democracy.
Frontline investigates.
We didn't take a broad enough view of our responsibility, and it was my mistake, and I'm sorry. This is Meta Ray-Ban display.
Bog standard normal looking glasses. Maybe they've got a little pendant around their neck or a ring on their finger. Nothing unusual, nothing suspicious. You carry on talking as always. But here's the thing, that person might be recording everything you say right now, in real time, and not just recording it, transcribing it, labeling your voice, summarizing it, storing it, and making it searchable forever. This isn't science fiction. This is happening right now. And most people have absolutely no idea. Hello again, I'm Omar Todd. I've been in cybersecurity since the late 80s. And I have to tell you, in all that time, I don't think I've seen a privacy shift move this quietly or this fast. So, shall we talk about it? The devices are already here, and they're everywhere. New products every day.
We built glasses that let you identify anybody on the street. The information our tool collects from just a photo of your face is staggering.
Ray-Ban Meta smart glasses. You've probably seen them. They look like regular sunglasses, but they've got a camera, a microphone, voice controls, and AI built in. Meta's own privacy notice says voice transcripts and audio recordings can be stored for up to a year to help improve their products. Now, they're not technically recording everything all the time, but they make recording from your face completely normal, completely frictionless.
Today we're talking about the privacy features and considerations of the Ray-Ban Meta smart glasses.
You barely have to think about it, and most forget they are even wearing them. Then there's the Limitless Pendant, an AI memory device you wear around your neck. It records and transcribes conversations. Their privacy page says users are required to notify and get consent from everyone they record, which sounds fine, until you think about how often that actually happens in practice.
What's up, guys? How's it going? Mike the Tech here, and today we're talking about the Claude Note. This is a really cool update to the original Note product. This is the Note Pen that makes it so much smaller. So if we take a look at this,
we also have Claude Note Pen, AI recorders that capture audio, transcribe it, create speaker labels, and generate summaries. So not only do they know what was said, they know who said it. Another product, B, a wearable personal AI that turns your conversations, your tasks, your movements, and your locations into summaries and insights. It says it learns your patterns and relationships. Think about that for a second. It learns your relationship, your very own Harry Truman Show. Then there is this product, Omi, which describes itself as a second brain. It captures conversations, creates tasks.
Once it's turned on, this little thing keeps listening. Every conversation you have gets recorded and transcribed in the app. And the app tries to summarize everything and give you action points.
Reminders, advice, transcripts, summaries, and memories. Your second brain that lives in the cloud on someone else's servers. And then finally, there's the one that really got my attention, the Voki ring, an AI note-taking ring.
No touch strips or gestures, just a single button. And that's really all you need. I think it's a smart design choice. The button has a nice kind of clicky but a little bit mushy feel to it, not in a bad way, in a really good way.
It records, transcribes, and summarizes conversations. And I mean it is a ring, on your finger. Nobody looks at someone's ring and thinks surveillance device. That's the point. The recorder no longer looks like a recorder. They look like boring and easily ignored regular wearable items. Now, recording conversations isn't new. People have been doing that forever. Journalists, lawyers, police, nosy neighbors with a dictaphone. But here's what's actually new about that all, and why it's a worry. It's not the recording itself, it's the searchable, detailed AI transcript. Before AI, a recording was a file. You had to listen back through it. You had to find the part you wanted. That took time. That took effort. Most of the time, most recordings just sat there and nobody went back to them. Now, you can search a 6-hour conversation like you search Google. You type in a name, a number, a phrase, a date, and every single time that word was mentioned by anyone in any context comes up instantly. Time-stamped, speaker labeled, summarized. You can imagine in future just how many arguments in court they may be when people record their spouses during arguments. It's a game changer. Even that casual comment you made in a meeting 6 months ago, that offhand remark at a dinner, that sentence you said on a first date when you were trying to impress someone, all of it searchable, retrievable, usable, sometimes admissible. The recording is the net. The AI transcript is what makes the net useful. So let's talk about what this means practically, because this is where it gets serious very quickly. Legal and workplace advisors are already warning about this. In many places, recording laws require all parties to consent. In some US states, in many European countries, in Australia, you can't just record someone without telling them. That's a criminal offence in some jurisdictions. But even where the law is on your side, think about what a searchable transcript of your business conversations could do in the wrong hands. A casual comment about a competitor, a number mentioned in a salary negotiation, a sentence said in frustration about a client, a private opinion about a colleague, things said in the spirit of openness between people who trusted each other, all of it can become evidence in an employment dispute, in a contract argument, in a divorce, in a lawsuit, in a regulatory investigation. I've spent years doing corporate work. I know how these things go. One sentence out of context, captured at the wrong moment, can destroy a professional relationship, a business deal, a career. It will mean constant workplace surveillance for us all. And the terrifying thing is you'd never know it was recorded. You'd never know it was being used against you until it was too late. Now let's talk about public figures, because this is where it gets even more diabolical. Executives, celebrities, politicians, influencers, anyone with a public profile who also has private conversations. These people have always been targets. There have always been people willing to pay for private information. Journalists, rivals, tabloids, hostile governments. But the effort required is to act as a natural filter. Someone had to plant a listening device. Someone had to get physically close. Someone had to take real risk to capture private conversations. Now, anyone at a dinner, a party, a business meeting, a media event can have an AI transcription device running in their pocket, on their wrist, or on their face. No technical skill required. The device does everything automatically. Imagine a leaked transcript from a private celebrity dinner, or a searchable record of what a CEO said in a closed-door investor meeting, or a summary of what a politician said at a private fundraiser. This is already a concern. Harvard students built a project called iXRI. They demonstrated how smart glasses combined with facial recognition, AI, and public databases could be used to identify strangers in real time. Name, address, personal details.
Harvard students Kane Artifio and Anfu Nguyen say they created this viral video.
Is your address?
To sound the alarm over artificial intelligence and privacy.
We built glasses that let you identify anybody on the street.
The two took a pair of so-called smart glasses, which have a built-in camera. Practically undetectable, it's activated with a button or voice command.
Just from pointing glasses at someone's face. That was a research demonstration, but the technology exists, and it is only going to get more accessible. Now I want to talk about something that I think deserves a mention, and I'm going to handle it seriously. There have already been real-world concerns about smart glasses being used to film women without their consent. The University of San Francisco issued a safety advisory specifically about this. Women being recorded in public without knowing. And when you extend that into intimate situations, into dating, into relationships, the potential for harm is very serious. Sextortion is already one of the fastest growing cybercrime categories. Criminals obtain intimate images or recordings and use them to blackmail people. And now you add AI generated deepfakes into that mix, where someone can create a realistic intimate video of a person who never consented to it, never knew it existed, using only publicly available images and audio. These are not theoretical threats. They are happening. They are ruining lives, young people especially, and the technology that enables them is becoming cheaper and easier every single month. In a dating context, think about what it means that someone could record every conversation, every intimate moment, every vulnerable thing you ever said to them, and have it searchable forever. and potentially usable at any point. Consent matters here enormously, and the law in most places has not caught up with what is technically possible. And then there's the darkest use case, and it's not theoretical either. Coercive control, stalking, domestic abuse. These situations already involve one person trying to monitor and control another. And technology has always been weaponized in those contexts. Spyware on phones, location tracking, hidden cameras. Now add an AI wearable to that, a device that records, transcribes, and summarizes every conversation, that learns patterns and relationships, that can be searched for specific names or phrases. An abusive partner could use this to monitor everything their victim says to anyone. Every conversation with a friend, every phone call, every attempt to seek help, combined with facial recognition tools like those demonstrated in the Eye-X-ray project. A stalker could, in theory, identify strangers their target interacts with, track movements, map social networks. I'm not trying to be alarmist here. I'm trying to be honest about what this technology makes possible when it ends up in the wrong hands. And it will end up in the wrong hands. It always does. So, who benefits from all of this? The companies building these devices will tell you it's all about productivity, memory, organization, convenience. And I get that. I genuinely do. The ability to search back through your own conversations, your own meetings, your own ideas has obvious value. But here's the scandal hiding in plain sight. When you use these devices, your conversations go to servers. They get processed, they get stored. They may be used to train AI models. They may be shared with third parties under privacy policies that most people never read. Meta says voice transcripts and audio recordings can be stored for up to a year. That's Meta. With everything we already know about how Meta handles personal data, and the consent problem cuts in every direction. You consent to the terms of service when you buy the device, but the person you're talking to, they didn't consent to anything. They didn't agree to have their voice recorded, transcribed, labeled, and stored on a tech company's servers. That is a scandal. It's just a very quiet, very slow-moving one, because the devices look nice, and the marketing is good, and convenience always wins in the short term. And this is the bit I find myself thinking about the most, because it's not just about individual incidents. What happens to human behavior when people start to assume that any conversation might be recorded? I mean, think about it. I've lived and worked in a lot of different countries, a lot of different cultures, and one thing I've noticed is that people behave differently when they feel watched, when they feel like their words might be used against them. It's a stressful dystopian future, or Orson Welles' 1984 reality. So everyone becomes more careful, more guarded, less honest, less spontaneous, less willing to say something awkward or difficult or uncertain because they're worried about how it might look later. Workplaces lose the kind of open conversation where real problems get solved. Friendships lose the kind of honesty that makes them worth having. Families lose the kind of messy, imperfect dialogue. That's how people actually connect. There's a concept in privacy law called the chilling effect. The idea that surveillance doesn't just capture behavior, it changes behavior. People self-censor, they perform, they become less themselves. And I think that's a real cost that we're not taking seriously enough. Not just the individual incidents, but the slow erosion of genuine human communication when people stop feeling safe to speak freely. So what do you actually do about this? Because I'm not going to just leave you with the problem. First, start asking. It's becoming reasonable, and I'd argue necessary, to ask people in important conversations whether any devices are recording. It might feel awkward the first time, it won't feel awkward forever. Normalize the question. Second, assume that any conversation you have in a professional context could potentially be recorded by someone, not to make you paranoid, but to make you thoughtful. Don't say things in professional settings that you wouldn't want appearing in a transcript. Third, if you use any of these devices yourself, understand the legal situation wherever you are. Recording someone without consent is a criminal offense in many places. The fact that the device makes it easy doesn't make it legal. Fourth, read the privacy policies. I know, nobody reads them. But if you're wearing a device that captures your conversations and the conversations of everyone around you, you owe it to yourself to know what actually happens to that data, where it goes, how long it's kept, who can access it. Fifth, If you're a business owner or a manager, think about whether you need a policy on this. Just like companies had to create mobile phone policies and social media policies, AI wearables are going to need their own rules. What devices are permitted in client meetings? What happens with recordings? Who owns the data? And 6, if you're in a situation where you feel someone may be using technology to monitor or control you, take it seriously and get help. This isn't paranoia, it's a real and growing problem. So, look, I've been in this industry a long time, and every few years something comes along that genuinely shifts the landscape. AI wearables are one of those shifts. The camera is no longer just in the phone, the microphone is no longer just on the table, the witness is becoming AI. Always listening, always summarizing, always searchable, and always ready to remember what you forgot. That's not necessarily evil, but it is powerful. And powerful things require serious thought. I'll keep covering this stuff. Cybersecurity, AI, crypto, and the things that are quietly changing how we live, whether we notice them or not. If you want more of that, subscribe, hit the like button if this was useful. Follow me on socials, they're all in the description below. Anyway, thanks for listening to me rant on. Speak to you again soon.